Okay, here we go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the November 30th, 2022 Legal and Finance Committee meeting. Let's please start with a roll call and determination of quorum, please.
Armstrong.
Here.
Roseland. Nordstrom.
Here.
Solomon.
Here.
Jones. We have a quorum.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, now it's time for the adoption of the agenda. And we have a motion by Mr. Solomon and a second by Mr. Nordstrom. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to general public comment. This is a time for the members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. Do we have any public comment speakers? No, seeing none, we'll move right along. Let's move through one. Tracy, do you want to speak on 2?
I do not know anything about item number 2 on the agenda. That's the mayor's item.
Okay.
Maybe Lila knows something. I don't know.
Yes, please.
At mine, it's the MOU that we're looking at with
The Care Campus.
Care Campus.
Great.
Okay, sure.
Lila Melhuff, you have the floor.
Okay, so every other Thursday, the Pennington County Health and Human Services hosts a roundtable discussion or roundtable meeting at the Care Campus, and the focus is to work on the high utilizers that we have in our community. These are, a couple years ago, they were the 28 people that took over half of the emergency services budget. So we focus on them, and information is shared at these meetings that's very confidential. And so Barry Tice requested that we sign a privacy agreement, basically stating that we will not share any of that information or the names of the people that are shared. And so I just wanted to make sure that we were able to do that. And there are a few other city employees that attend as well. So I believe that would be regarding them as well.
Mentioned that this is every other Thursday. When,
Yes.
What time?
It is at 7:30 in the morning. And Barry Tice is the one that hosts it there.
Mr. Solomon, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I direct a question to Lila? Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
I looked at the memorandum, and I understand confidentiality of people's private information that are being served. Does this apply, though, to how funds are being spent or operational things that the public might want to know about? Do you know anything about that?
No, there have never been any of those types of concerns or anything involving operations or funds at all that I know of.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's truly about the folks that are being served?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions for Ms. Melhuff? Great, thank you so much for that explanation.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Tracy Davis, I'll have you take 3 and 4, please.
Sure. 3 and 4 actually go together. We did our proposal for our 22 through 24 annual audit. We did receive 2 proposals, one from Cato Thorstensen and one from Casey Peterson. And Cato Thorstensen was the lower of the 2. So we are requesting to enter into engagement with them for the 3-year period. Item 4 is actually to sign the engagement letter specifically for the 2022 audit.
Questions or comments? Thank you. Oh, Mr. Solomon. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes,
So?
I'm in.
Mr. Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I direct a question to
Please.
Ms. Davis? Director Davis, so when we've used Cato Thorstensen in the past, and I just want to make sure we've been satisfied with the performance in the past, that they've been able to be a help for us in this audit process, so that we know that they'll serve us well moving forward.
Sure, absolutely. We've been impressed with their work. We feel that we work very well together. We have an understanding of what they're asking for when they're asking the information and being able to provide that to them.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Much. Moving to community development. Director Fisher, you have the floor for number 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this item is the CDBG funding recommendation, final funding for FY23. Michelle Schulke is here from our Community Enrichment Division, and if I might turn it over to her.
Welcome, Ms. Schulke. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Vicki stated, this is recommendations, no changes from preliminary recommendations for 2023 fiscal year for the CDBG funds.
Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints? Wonderful. Thank you, ladies. Okay, we're at the end of the consent calendar. I'd welcome a motion. Okay, I have a motion to approve items 1 through 5 by Mr. Nordstrom and a second by Mr. Solomon. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. Okay, moving to number 6, Director Landine. Or Ms. Utter?
Thank you. Good
Welcome.
afternoon, Madam Chair. Jennifer Utter from the City Attorney's Office. At the request of Alderman Nordstrom, the City Attorney's Office has presented this under our portion to request authorization for the council to consider increasing the amount of discretionary spending that you City Council can do with the mayor's approval compared to the full council's approval. So there's always either going to be approval by the mayor or approval by the council. However, if Alderman Nordstrom has any further information from the City Council itself, that's the nature of this request. And we would need to amend a resolution and draft some documents up, and so that's what this authorization would be for.
Great, thank you. Mr. Nordstrom, would you like to weigh in?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Question or comment to Ms. Utter, please. Jennifer, thank you for putting this together. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands this is just a request for authorization to direct the city attorney to draft documents versus actually adopting some changes. They need to come up with the resolution of change for this. It's relatively minor is what it's going to amount to. So what the main concern was that I was hearing feedback from some council members was, and also from Ms. Utter, is that the concern was getting into activism. And with the right personnel in the right place and oversight, I think the Youth City Council has demonstrated over this last year what they are capable of doing and raising the awareness level of what they understand, what these funds can be utilized for. And we're going to have some further discussions with the Youth City Council about setting up the budgets and so on like that. But I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that this is just getting authorization to direct the City Attorney's Office to come up with the drafting of the documents. And between us, we'll stand by for questions.
Mr. Solomon, you have the floor.
Thank you. And just to add a couple of comments to it, thank you, Alderman Nordstrom, for working on this. For one, I'm happy there continues to be oversight to make sure that that the money is being used appropriately. Of course, the youth city council members, just like us, will change over time, so we want to make sure that we have the right, really, the guardrails in place so that we can make sure that it's being, the taxpayer funds are being spent wisely. One thing I guess I would like to add, and I don't know if this is for you or for us to consider as well, I think maybe language that we require a budget each year from the youth city council as just a framework, even if we have approvals that are still, and there may not, approvals still done through the mayor's office for under 1,000 and the council over 1,000, but I think at least that budget process for them will help them identify where those funds are also generally going to be directed as, just as the council does. So I don't know if that's required in any of our procedures or policies, but if it's not, it might be something that might be wise to include in there. But mainly, I think it's good that it has oversight. I agree with Mr. Nordstrom about the activism. I think that's an important thing. But at the same time, I think it's a good program, has the potential to develop the next generation of leaders. I know Ms. Armstrong and Nordstrom have been involved, as well as Mr. Lehman, our council president. So I appreciate the program. I just want to make sure that we are setting them up for success and teaching them well through the process. So I think that would be one addition in the direction that we might add something along those lines, if it's not there. And I guess it may be there. I may not be aware, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Nordstrom, you have the floor.
Thank you. To address some concerns, and maybe I don't have all the answers just yet, but I will review the bylaws to see what that says again. But this will be my first time going through the budget process with the youth city council coming up for next year. So it's a good question, and I will take that into consideration to take a look at if there's some more additional changes needed by then, if that's all right with the rest of the council members. We'll review that concern, and we'll take a look at it, see if we got an answer for you already. If not, we'll make that adjustment after we get the chance to review the budget for next year, if that's all right.
Mr. Nordstrom, with your guidance, I have full faith that they will continue to do good things. They are in excellent hands, so.
She's just trying to make me.
Oh, okay. All right. Probably should have read this in. We're going to request the authorization to direct the city attorney to draft documents to amend the Youth City Council Resolution 2021-099 as amended by Resolution 2022-018 to reflect that the mayor has authority to review and determine approval of the Youth City Council annual budgeted expenditures under $1,000, and that expenditures of $1,000 or more shall be presented to the full city council for review and approval as may be determined. I'd welcome a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Nordstrom, a second by Mr. Roseland. Anyone in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Wonderful. Motion passes. We'll move to my favorite part, Alderman items. Mr. Solomon, you said you had to leave early. I'll let you go first.
Well, thank you. Just a couple of things, not so much on my committees, but had a good meeting with the mayor this week, and I think we agreed that the historical issue that Mr. Roseland would be very appreciative to hear this. I think we can figure out a way to have those notices mailed, that if somebody is in a historical district, that they receive a notification from the city. I think that would be good. So it might be something we'd be able to look at. So hopefully, I thought that was a great thing to do, and just to let people know and give them a heads up so we avoid conflict. I want to bring something up, but I don't know if we have the time today. So it's more of a discussion item, but I think we have a lot of great things going on in Rapid City right now, and working on something I want to get your ideas on, but I think I'll wait until I have a little bit more information. So I think that's all I'll do for now, for the sake of time.
Oh, okay. Mr. Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. About the only thing I'm going to report on this time around is the Sustainability Committee has an opportunity to look at some grants that the city might be eligible for. There's some opportunities that are available for the city, and this is another reason why we need to have a grant writer position within the city, so that grant opportunities such as being expressed to the Sustainability Committee could be a big benefit to the city of Rapid City, and help out the community, not only in sustainability, but some other areas of need that we have that could also help out the community. So I look forward to seeing what kind of reaction I get from the Sustainability Committee, and with that, I'll yield. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Nordstrom. Mr. Roseland, anything you'd like to share?
Short and sweet. Short and sweet today. I'm a liaison to the Canyon Lake Activity Center. Went there last Monday, 21st, and basically they're working on a lot of different projects. Mainly the largest one is doing an addition to the activity center to have indoor pickle courts, basically due to the outside courts cannot be used during the winter. And so, and it could be used for a lot of different venues, but mainly used for pickle courts. And I attended the Rapid City Arts Council board meeting as a board member, not as a liaison. Votes were taken for a new board member, and we're looking for 3 or 4 new board members. We have quite a few that are lined up to hopefully take the 3 or 4 positions that we have. And thank you, President. This is all I have.
Great, thank you. And I'll just share 2 things. On Friday at Western Dakota Tech, we have people from Apolda, our sister city, and they are going to be doing some sustainability projects. We're going to work together, which I think is pretty exciting. That'll be Friday and Monday. I will be out there Friday. And then yesterday, I had the opportunity to go to New Underwood. There was the Western Dakota Regional Water Conference. Our very own director, Dale Tech, is the president of that, and Cheryl Chapman. We talked about the possibilities of bringing a pipeline from the Missouri River out here to western South Dakota. And we had 4 mayors and 1 county commissioner there. The discussion was very informative and exciting, and I really like the opportunity to possibly collaborate. This will be a monumental project if it comes to fruition, but it will benefit western South Dakota greatly on a lot of levels. And I just want to commend our Common Council for staunchly protecting water quality with the 2 resolutions that we have passed in the last 2.5 years. So it just goes to show that we understand the importance of quality of water and how it impacts not just business and families, but also our quality of life. So kudos to our great Common Council for taking a stewards of the resources that we have here in South Dakota, or Rapid City in western South Dakota. And with that, we'll move to item 7, City Attorney's Office, Youth City Council expenditure requests, Health and Wellness Committee in the amount of $400. Anything to add to that, Director Landine or Ms. Utter?
No, this is under the current
Perfect.
administration to approve all expenditures, so.
Mr. Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a little bit of the nuances for this. I think it's primarily what they're after is to assist children of family members that are in the hospital. So this will be something that the kids of family members that are needing medical attention will be able to take care of and entertain, is the language that they're using, entertain those kids in some fashion. So I think it's a good, worthwhile project to help out family members. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Nordstrom. I have a motion to approve by Mr. Solomon, a second by Mr. Nordstrom. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. With that, all these items will move forward to our City Council meeting on Monday, December 5th at 6:30 here in these chambers. I will welcome a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn by Mr. Nordstrom, a second by Mr. Roseland. All in favor? Aye. I will see you next week. Thank you, gentlemen. We are adjourned.